That was forced round of applause. I hope we earned some organic ones throughout the conversation, starting from now. I'm a firm believer that cricket is a religion in India, and I'm sitting with one of the gods of cricket for sure. So, but this interaction will be between two of us, of course, and I'll try and involve you all as much as I can. The 3 best questions decided by him will get 3 signed ball by the legend himself. We are here to talk leadership. Of course, we'll talk cricket and we'll talk leadership through the lenses of this legend that we have in front of us. Would like to know from you, this is the moment that, many of us have seen you tossing the coin for the last time for India, I guess. This is your last test match. Ricky Ponting is the Australian captain. We'll soon have the visuals up on the screen. Define this moment for us. The last time you were leading the Indian national cricket team on the field.
Good evening, everyone. It's indeed a pleasure to be here amongst all of you. Thank you so much for having me here. It's always a very special moment to lead one's country. When you are growing up, you want to play for the country. Once you have played there, after a while, you certainly dream of captaining the country. And I had the opportunity and the good fortune to lead India. And it's always nice, once you retire, you are always called a former India captain. I think that's a that's a title that I cherish much more than any of the other accolades that I have received through my career. So for me, Captain of India is certainly something that I cherish, and I am honored to be in that. Very few players have had that privilege to lead India, and to be a part of that elite group. I certainly feel honored.
Great. All of them here are leaders. They lead their respective teams. Standing by your team, and I think you did it at the toughest of the moments for sure. Did you actually feel sometime that I wish the captaincy had come to me a little earlier? You are quoted saying that you became the captain because nobody else wanted to become the captain. And that was the last stage of your career. We all know the stuff that you have done as a captain. But did you sometime wish that I wish the captaincy had come to me a little earlier?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone sort of wishes that it comes to you at a stage where you could perhaps be a part of it and have a longer journey. But I was, like I said, I am really honored and privileged that I finally got it at some point. Like you said, I got it by default because nobody else wanted it. And probably the selectors felt that I was the right man at that time to lead India. And then, of course, it was a transition phase to just hand over to the eventual leader, who was MS Dhoni.
Correct.
In Test cricket. So he was already a white ball captain at that time, and I was a Test captain. So it was all about ensuring that I managed the team to the best of my ability for a year and then hand over, because I knew that it can't be beyond that.
Correct.
I was towards the fag end of my career. So it's always about opportunity coming at any time. You can't really say that this is the time that I want this. It comes, then you just fulfill your responsibility and hand over. I'm proud that I can always say that I handed over the captaincy or retired from cricket as captain. Probably the only one, I guess, at that time. So I'm happy that I retired on my terms. It's always nice when you leave an organization, you leave on your terms, and I'm happy that I did that.
Fantastic. How many of you can relate to this photograph there? What do you think is happening here? Anyone? Who said that?
So you can hand over the ball there.
Yeah. Why aren't you raising your hand? Who said monkey gate? You got the answer right. Well done. Yeah, so this is the monkey gate incident, and this is the match referee with the two captain. How did you deal with the entire instance? You are later saying that you felt Harbhajan was wronged. I read your interview saying that, but at that moment, what was the experience like dealing with the situation?
It was not easy because, when you're captain of a team, of a cricket team, you are adept at handling situations on the field.
Correct.
You obviously have the experience of going through various situations on field and then taking decisions. Right or wrong, doesn't matter, but at least you know that whether it is a strategy or picking players or reading a pitch, you go by the experiences that you have had in your career. And this was something that you had to handle off the pitch. And that's where I feel in any team you need really experienced people. So I was, like I mentioned, I had the good fortune of having some senior players, former captains in my team, who were all, you could lean on them, lean on their wisdom in a situation like this. At the same time, you also need the support of your team, the trust. That's the most important aspect. In any conflict, you need the trust of the person who's been affected, plus the rest of the players believing that the leader or the captain has the ability to manage this situation. I think that's the key. Once you have that, it's not necessary that needs to be expressed. You can feel the vibe within the group when you're having a conversation. You've been with them for a long period of time, and the trust is mutual.
Yeah.
So once you know that it's there, then it's a lot easier to manage. So I think the organization also is very important. For me at that stage, it was BCCI, who was the organization. So you need the support of the organization, the leadership in the organization to support your decisions on with regard to that. So all of this sort of came together at the right time, and it wasn't easy because, like you said at the start itself, that cricket in India is like a religion. And emotions of 1 billion people is there, and we can understand what we were going through. I'm sure the fans who were following the team as well were going through the same emotion. So to manage all of that, I never thought that you need to, sadly that starts putting pressure on you once you start thinking that there are so many people watching us, and there are so many people will sort of dissect whatever decision that you take. But once you keep the larger picture in play, which is the sport itself and the organization, then every other decision falls in place. So for me, that was the key, that cricket is above all of us. Any individual, any team, the sport is above all of us. Once you keep that at the topmost level, then everything falls in place.
Fantastic.
He was not aware that what he is speaking because his English was very poor. So it affect your decision. He said, अगर मेरे को मालूम होता तो मैं 2 बार बोलता जो monkey.
Sorry, I can't hear.
I'm Kamal from Bombay. Last week we heard Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan Singh said that the monkey gate incident, he was not aware what he has speak because his English was very poor. He said, अगर मुझे मालूम होता मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ तो मैं 2 बार बोलता. Was it true?
No, I was 100 meters away from what was happening, right? I was sitting in the dressing room when something was said or not said on the field. So yeah, I'll have to. We'll have to go with what Bajji said.
So many match referees, journalists, lawyers tried to get out what you were trying to get out. Nobody managed to, and you thought you will. They're thinking so highly of you. So I'll come. This series that we are talking about, the India-Australia series, I interviewed Saurav Ganguly once, and he said that it was Anil Kumble who went to a whiteboard and wrote, #1, India. This is where we would like to be in the test team. India became the #1 test team, of course, after you retired. But how was it, getting this entire team to believe that we can be the #1 team? And Saurav Ganguly himself says that there was a moment we all felt like, yes, we can be the #1 cricket team.
It's really nice of him to have mentioned that. But, it's a journey in any organization, in any team. You want the team to progress. And it doesn't really matter whether you're a part of that progress or you've just sown seeds and then you bear the fruit at some point in time. yeah, it doesn't really matter whether you get credit or not. But what is important is the satisfaction that, yes, you were a part of that journey. And I mean, credit to Saurav as well. When he became captain, we certainly made a conscious effort within the group to not just have matches played in India, which we consistently won, but also start winning outside of India. Yes, there were matches that were won before, but we wanted to do it a bit more consistently, and that's something that started when he was captain, and it continued, and it still continues. So it's a journey that you sort of hand over your baton to somebody else. And when I became the captain, I distinctly remember having a conversation with especially the senior group, saying that, look, as individuals, I think we have achieved everything that can be achieved on a cricket field, whether it's with the bat, with the ball, or with all the accolades that all of us have got. But I think it's now, there's still some unfinished business in terms of Test cricket, and how can we now start getting everyone to align to a common purpose. Yes, it was always there, but it also started, ICC also at that point in time started this number one ranking. Championship rankings and all of that. So yes, the journey started there, and I'm glad that we continue to be there at the top and continue to perform, and that's what gives you a lot of satisfaction.
Fantastic. I have a question, but I'll first want to see the AV. So can we please have an AV up? Yeah, let's see the video, and then I have a counter question. I will ask you if you would trade this moment with another moment in your career.
He's out. Got behind. After not happy with that. He thinks that the bat might have touched the pad. We'll have to wait and see.
That's number 2. How many more to go? Anyone?
Almost Yorker.
8 more.
He's bowled in. He's played on.
Who is the batter who got out?
Again, Benzema.
Scream, let's wake up, guys. Who is the batter who just got out?
He was attempting to play.
The
ball's taken the inner edge and gone back and hit the off stump. Now this is a big blow.
Who is he?
He's given up this time. So wickets falling in a hurry here. That's number 4. Yusuf Johanna has been dismissed without tickling the scorers. And look at the crowd. He's got him.
Who is he?
The outside edge. It's a good catch at slip.
Moin Khan, correct.
Turned, bounced, and luckily for Ganguly, was in the air for a while. Gave him the time to pick it up inches off the ground. That is the end of Moin Khan. He's given him his. Went up club. Anil Kumble has taken number 6. Surely this must be all over for Pakistan. 128 for 6. But what a good innings it was from Saeed Anwar. He's bowled him. He tried that shot in the previous over. And the ball hurried on to him then. Hit it to mid-arm. This time it was through him. It's up in the air. Taken. Too much for Mustaq. That's a lovely delivery that would have tested any top order batsman. Number 8 for Anil Kumble. No doubt about that. That was quicker through the air. Anil Kumble has picked up 9 wickets here. That man, Anil Kumble, has become the first Indian bowler to capture 10 wickets in an innings. What a performance.
Thank you.
India have won the match. They have leveled the series, but Anil Kumble...
When did you get this sense in your mind, that, it looks like a 10-wicket haul. Not in a match, but in an innings.
I think after I got 6 on 6, I felt that this was something that I could perhaps better my previous best.
Yeah.
And it felt as though, I could get a eight wicket haul, but 8 and 9 happened in 2 balls. So then it was all about destiny to get to that 10. So yeah, I think 8 and 9 happened in 2 balls. 7 happened immediately after the tea break.
Correct.
Salim Malik got out, and then 8 and 9 happened in 2 balls. So
Yeah.
once that happened, then there was a lot of time for us to get that 10 and win the test match. So it was all about ensuring that the over that Javagal Srinath bowled, I'm sure all of you remember. So that was, that was what he did, and then I had to get the 10th wicket in the next over, which happened.
Yeah. Phenomenal achievement against Pakistan in India, one of your favorite grounds. At some time did you all try speaking to each other and say that let's not take wickets, let Anil get to the 10th?
I know Sri enough. I don't need to say anything to him.
But incredible,
So
incredible.
we go a long way. So, when you're in that kind of a situation, you don't have to say anything. Some words are best unsaid.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments. Maybe if I had not got Wasim Akram's wicket in that over,
Yeah.
then I had to go and tell Sri to do it again, which then would have been really embarrassing. So, I am glad that it happened in the next over.
Great, fantastic. Yeah, sir, you had a question, please. We shall take some questions from the back also. I mean, people who are standing, thank you very much for being there patiently
Yes,
listening to us.
Yes, sir.
So Anil, a great fan, and question is really that perhaps, and it's to do with your leadership style and nature. You always perceived as very well behaved, very not aggressive, very not in your face as a person, as a player, even though your talents were so obvious. Do you think that's why your captaincy was delayed, or you'd have got it earlier if you'd taken your shirt off on the balcony or something?
No. I think my colleagues who played with me and the batters of the opposition will tell you how aggressive I was. I don't think even the umpires will tell you how aggressive I was. I don't think there was any aggression. Is very subjective, and for me, I had to be aggressive to perform. I'm not really sure. I didn't really go about wanting to be a captain. Yes, the thought comes to you when you're vice captain or when you're made vice captain, and then there's a change in captaincy, but you still remain vice captain. So I guess that's the way of life, and you just get on with it. But at the end of it, what was really good in the time that we played, irrespective of who the captain was that we had a core group of players who were all leaders in their own way. And when it came to decision making about team, strategy, playing style, playing 11, everything else with regard to Indian cricket, this core group literally met and had discussions. The nominated or designated captain could have been anyone, but the core group sort of took those decisions. I think that, to me, was more important to be a part of that. And like I mentioned, I was privileged that it came, it came at a time where, I was really happy that it came. So I don't think I regret. It would have come much earlier, then maybe things would have been different. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, also, the T-shirt was removed in the balcony after he became the captain, not before he became the captain. So that's not a criteria for
Correct.
sure.
And see,
The Bengali
you can't take a Bengali out of any. Yeah. No. They will always come to defend Saurav Ganguly. No, and by the way, by the way, Saurav not only removed his shirt, he asked all of us to do it as well. So we said, no, let the limelight be on the skipper. We let it be.
Yes,
Anil.
one more question. Any woman
Yep.
with the raised hand?
Hello?
Okay, no option.
I got a
Yeah,
question.
there, yeah.
Hey, Anil.
Oh, there are two people with the mic.
Oh,
Three.
okay.
No,
We'll
we'll have
come
one
to you,
question.
ma'am. We'll come to
so
you.
please ask.
I'll be real quick. I'm from Australia, so I'm going to ask you a leadership question regarding the Australian captaincy at the moment. Gone are the days of Ian Chappell, Ricky Ponting, Alan Border, that style of leadership. Now we've got Pat Cummins and the woke culture. And, you know, it's just laxy-daisy, come to training if you want, listen to me if you want, but, you know, turn up on the day and play cricket. That's the approach and mentality. Love to hear your opinion on the old style, the new style. What do you think?
That's the way of life. You know, today I can't tell my son to. I'm sure we all, as parents, have gone through that. We can't tell our kids what to do. They know. But I think what is critical is today, all these young players that are coming through are all professionals, and they know their responsibilities. And I think both types of leadership. You can't say which is better, but I think you need a blend of both. That's how I look at it. You can't just be one or the other, because certain situations you may have to choose another style. In certain situations you may have to be a bit more relaxed and go about. But it's worked. I think I'm really happy that there's a bowler captain. There are not too many bowlers who become captains. So it's nice to see that Australia has taken that approach, and it's been successful. Tomorrow, again, it could be a different story. So, it's nice that bowlers also make good captains.
Fantastic. I'll come again, but another thing that we keep hearing in all of these leadership lessons, that passing the baton to the next one with grace is very important. And as you said, in cricket in India especially, we have not seen that happen, of course, till your time. This is the moment where you say, it's my time is up, let MS take it forward. What was that period like? Even that series, you didn't play the full series as well. You had an injury, and then you decided, no, my body has given up, and I would like MS to finish the series.
No, I was carrying an injury through the series.
Yeah.
And, I was probably decided in my mind that at the end of the series, I'm going to retire anyway. I know Saurav announced his retirement prior to the start of the series, saying that after the 4 test matches, he's going to retire. But even in my mind, I had thought that, look, that would be the last series, because the body was not coping with the rigors of international cricket. But an injury happened in Delhi while I was fielding. I got hit by a ball, tried to go for a catch.
Yeah.
And then, I had to undergo a surgery where, it was a pretty nasty cut which required 11 stitches.
Correct.
So once that happened, it was just, the same night. In fact, I told my wife in the morning on the day that I retired. I woke up, I told her, look, that's it. You come to the ground at 3 o'clock and I'm announcing my retirement. And the same thing happened with the players too. When we went into the changing room before the start of the game, I just called all of them and I spoke to them. First, I went to the guys who had played for a long period of time individually and spoke to them, and they were all shocked. They didn't expect it. And I just called the team and announced it. So I guess you just know when it is there. It's not that you sort of think through. Yes, I had thought through it, maybe thinking that end of the series, but since the injury happened, there was no way that I could have played the next test match, which meant that I had to undergo a surgery for another injury that I was carrying.
Yeah.
That required rehab, another couple of months. I didn't want to go through all of that and then come back and again claim my position as captain. No, I was not that. So I said, and I also thought that the team was in a good space. I think you also get that sense when you know that the captain that is going to take over has been through the journey and also has all the credentials to take the team forward. And he had already won the World Cup in white ball cricket. And he was also test captain on a couple of occasions when I was injured and I couldn't play the test match. So he was a stand-in captain. So I saw what he could do, and I thought it was the right time for me to move on and not go out a couple of months again, come back again and play as a captain or maybe as a player. So I said that was the right time.
But you have this speciality of, spotting leaders. We mentioned Dhoni, okay, that was a natural one, but this is an even shocker. I mean, you suddenly disclose that Rohit Sharma is going to be the captain. You also played a pivotal role in Virat Kohli becoming the captain of, RCB after you took the team to the final. So is that something that you always keep an eye for? Who is the leader in the, next leader to be there?
No, in franchise cricket, especially the IPL, I always believe that you need to look at an Indian captain. Because an Indian captain, first of all, you bring in continuity. And the other thing also majorly is the understanding of the Indian players, the uncapped players, especially the domestic young players. The comfort that they have with a with an Indian captain or an Indian coach is a lot easier. So that was always the thought process. And it's also important to introduce them at the right time.
Okay.
And we felt as a group, the leadership group, when I was with Mumbai Indians, to get Rohit the captaincy when things didn't go well in the first half of the season. We have seen that. I mean, in IPL, teams come back after a disaster start. And similarly with RCB as well, Dan Vittori was the captain in 2011. We went to the finals. We lost in the finals. And the next season, again, we started off with Dan. Unfortunately, the performances were not to that effect. And we had Muthaiya Muralidharan in our squad. So we had to replace, Murali was sitting down and since Dan was the captain, so we had to swap. We had to bring in Murali. The only way was then to look at Virat as the captain. At that time, we felt it was the right time to hand over the captaincy to Virat.
Correct.
And I think it's all about timing, situation, and just to go with your gut feeling at that time to say it's the right time to hand over.
Fantastic. Three of the finest captains being groomed by Anil Kumble. You say MS Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, and Virat Kohli. That's incredible experience indeed. How was it telling Ricky Ponting that Ponting, you need to now give it to Rohit Sharma?
No, I think it's. I think as long as you're having an honest conversation, everybody understands. He understood. There was no issue at all. He's a professional, and I guess when you're coming into a franchise league like this, you know at the back of your mind that if things don't go well in the first half, because only 4 players can play, you also have another 4 sitting on the bench who perhaps you can introduce as a replacement or when the pitch conditions demand that or the team dynamics demand. So every overseas player understands that.
Correct.
And he was no different. And the conversation was fine with Ricky as well. And he was happy enough to, and of course, you also need the support of the skipper going forward, and which he was gracious enough to do that.
Fantastic. You made your debut with Mohammad Azharuddin as the captain, and then you played with many skippers. Do you have your favorite in the team India?
Yeah, always. You always have a soft corner for your first skipper.
Yeah.
And because he's the one who sort of saw, of course, the selectors saw the talent in you, and then the skipper needs to back you as well. And he needs to have the belief that you can go out there and do it. So I always have that with Azhar. And of course, after that, Saurav was someone who we played a lot of cricket together. And of course, his captaincy style and all of that was really good. Rahul, again, was brilliant. Sachin had a tough time because he was, it also coincided with a couple of really hard tours that we were a part of when he was captain. Everybody judges captaincy by matches, winning matches and performances. But when you're introduced, the timing of you becoming captain is also critical.
Yeah.
I've played with all these captains, and it was wonderful, more than anything else, to have this kind of bonhomie and play along with such great cricketers throughout my career was itself a very, very big honor for me. So yes, to stand out for me was my first captain, Azhar, and of course Saurav.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. I didn't nudge him to say Saurav, so please don't blame me. Yeah, gentlemen, please.
We'll come to you next. We'll come to you after this.
Very good evening. I'm one of your biggest fans and
Thank you.
biggest imitators during those days in early 90s. I used to try to spin like you. I was
We can't hear you.
It's not audible.
Is it audible now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
Thank
Anilji,
you.
and I was a big imitator during early 90s. I used to try to spin like you, but never gone above the level of Hyderabad city. That's it. So my question is, you said you are proud to be called or addressed as former Indian captain. Why not former Indian coach? Because during your coachship, India was top 1 in the test ranking.
Captaincy came first. So I think you'd like to be remembered as a player because that was what you sort of brought in. And for me, there have been many coaches who have come and done the job. Yes, I'm really proud of the fact that I got an opportunity to, again, relive some of those moments that I played on the field with some of the great players that I could be a part of and be a part of the dressing room. Because there's no, it's a fantastic thing to be once again within a team environment. That's something that you'll always miss. Whether you're, now I hold a mic and comment on the game, but you always miss the vibe that happens within the changing room and while you're sitting there and then watching the game unfold. So I certainly miss that. But I mean, for me, I'm always a player, and I certainly believe that that is something that was as a player, you always aspire to be one day captaining your team, captaining your country. And for me to have been able to achieve that, that certainly tops the list. This certainly is there, but that is certainly tops the list.
Both are amazing feat, to be Indian captain and
Yes,
then be
ma'am.
Indian coach as well. Yeah,
Yes,
madam.
ma'am.
Hi, my name is Priya. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
can. Yes.
Yeah, so my question is similar. You've played so many roles, coach, captain, a player, as do we in our corporate lives. You said you loved being the captain the most, but my question is, which was the hardest? And how did you manage some of the, I'm sure, clashes or discussions that you would have had in the locker room? And would you like to share some?
Yeah, I think, each role that I played, whether as a player first, captain next, and then mentoring some of the franchise teams, as an administrator in Karnataka,
Yeah.
as a coach for the Indian team, and then, of course, as a coach for one of the franchise. You always have different challenges. Yes, the most difficult task of a leader is to go to a player and say, look, you're not playing tomorrow. Only 11 can play, sorry, you're not playing tomorrow. And then trying to explain as to why that particular player is not getting a chance. So that was the toughest job for me, whether I was captain or a coach. That's always the hardest. Because everybody wants to be part of it, get that opportunity, and then go and perform. I always believe that no matter what the challenges are, you need to face the difficult conversations and not avoid it. The longer you sort of keep that in the back, then it lingers on and then starts affecting the team. So I was the last person to not address anything that I felt needed to be addressed and move on from there, because for me, the larger interest of the team was paramount and not the individual interests. So, and I also believe that all these roles, when I first came in versus when I left, is it in a better place? If the answer is yes, then it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. I always thought that I've done a good job and then I've passed it on, because that's what is important. The satisfaction of getting into a role, performing to the best of your ability, and then when you finally leave, is it in a better space than when you took over? If the answer is yes, then I'm happy.
Great answer. Yeah, we'll come back. But I need some quick reactions from you on these pictures. You and Harbhajan Singh together. That's about 1,000 Test wickets.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had some great partnerships. We keep talking about bowling partnerships. Batting partnerships are sort of a given in cricket, but bowling partnerships, Harbhajan and I, we always were competitors, aggressive bowlers. Both of us wanted to win matches for India, pick up those 5-wicket hauls, and it was always complimenting.
Yeah.
We did discuss a lot of spin bowling, but it was not necessary that we had to have those conversations on the field. It was all about planning and performing.
Is it true that the captains had a problem with taking the ball away from either of you?
Yes, of course, always.
So if they went to you saying ek over ka break le lo, you would say Harbhajan ko ball break lene.
No, I would never say that. I would say I don't need a break. So I would never say that. No, because I felt that if the two of us continued to bowl, we would get the team out, and that was my only thought. And I don't think we sort of wanted not to have the ball in our hand.
Fantastic. You are a passionate photographer. We have seen you around, clicking pictures, and we have asked him which is his favorite picture that he always clicked, and this is the moment that he said. This is Sachin Tendulkar scoring his 35th century to become the international batter with the most number of centuries in the world.
At that time, yes.
Yes, whose record did he break? That's a question for you. No. Correct. Omar, you are not getting the award. You are from ET. Yeah. So why did you say that this is the moment that you cherish clicking the most? And also explain, you and Sachin, you all started playing together.
Yes.
So what Sachin Tendulkar actually meant for Anil Kumble?
Oh, he meant everything, because he meant grace. Of course, all the exploits on the cricket field, I don't even want to talk about. The kind of talent, the kind of runs that he has scored, the expectations that he had to sort of meet at all times from everyone. Because whenever he walked out to bat, the entire nation, the team, everybody else's expectations were on his shoulders. And as a young cricketer who came in when he was 16, and to carry that burden for such a long time with grace and also humility was something that all of us sort of watched and learned from Sachin. And yes, he was extremely talented, but the kind of hard work he put in, he was the last man to come out of the nets. He would always be doing something in those 2.5 or 3 hours that we were on the field, either fielding, batting, or bowling.
Yeah.
And he would always be involved. And there was never, even when I was mentor of Mumbai Indians, he had literally completed his international career. He was just playing the IPL. Even then, on days off, when we had an optional session, he would be coming in. So I would say, what are you doing? Just take a break. He would say, no, I want to come and bat. So that's him.
Correct.
And this was very special because someone who has played together along with, both our careers sort of coincided at the same time, and then we continued to play. Someone to become or cross the great Sunil Gavaskar, and a teammate who's now on the top of the world in terms of number of centuries was very, very special. And I happened to be there. There have been a couple of instances where I also happened to be at the non-striker when he got 100.
Yeah.
But this time around, I had the camera in my hand. And the position of the dressing room at the Firozshah Kotla, now Arun Jaitley Stadium, is such that through a wide angle, you also get the old scoreboard at the back.
Yeah.
So I was able to get his picture when he's celebrating, and also the scoreboard, where manual scoreboard, that 100 is done, but the 0 is still not fully done. It's coming through.
Yes.
If you notice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a historical achievement, and to be present there as a player and to also take a picture was very special.
Correct. In a room filled with players, Sachin Tendulkar was asked, who is the player who can break his records? And he said Virat Kohli. I'm asking, who is the Indian bowler, current or maybe coming up, who can take more than 619 wickets that you have taken in Test cricket?
Oh, Ashwin, for sure. I
Yeah?
mean, he's already 500 plus.
He needs
And,
103 more.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, about 15 test matches, I guess, the way he is going. So, yeah, it should happen. It should happen.
See, you want to keep that to the south of the country, which is great.
It's not my choice. He also happens to be from the south of India, but he is Indian. I think we all should be proud.
Yeah. Can we have the second video, please? I mean, you said that Sachin Tendulkar was carrying the batting burden of India. I want to contest it with a video. Can we please have the video?
Good shot. It's found the boundary again. It takes Kumble to 97 and also takes India to their best score against England ever, beating 628 at Leeds 5 years ago. They're all on the balcony, the Indians, as Anil Kumble reaches uncharted territory. 97 not out, 3 short of his first ever Test 100. Here he goes down the wicket and it's a missed stumping. In fact, it's not, it's a bottom edge and he's got it. 4 runs in a most unlikely fashion, but what a thing to celebrate for Anil Kumble, who's been playing Test cricket for 17 years, 561 Test wickets, and now 1 Test century. To do it, and after 12 hours of toil, finally they can think about putting their pads on.
Did you ever celebrate taking a wicket as much as you celebrated your century here?
No, I got 619, but this was only one.
You could have got another one had it not been Virender Sehwag, right?
Yeah, I could have got a lot more. I believe that I could have got a lot more. Everybody, whoever sort of reminds me, yes, Viru's was another one when I was captain in Australia. I was batting 86, again with the last man there with Ishant Sharma. And at 8, when I came back at tea time, he sort of whispered something in my ear saying, what are you doing? You're trusting Ishant Sharma, you should go there and then start hitting. So I tried to hit and then got out.
Yeah.
But
never listen to Virender Sehwag when batting.
Yeah, when you're batting, yes. But of course, even before that, much before that, whenever people sort of remind me of the Sri Lanka Test match, which was never ending, they scored 950 or something.
Yeah.
And they didn't declare. So I keep telling them, somebody comes and reminds me saying, you know what, Sri Lanka batted 3.5 days. What were you guys doing? I said, listen, I missed my first Test 100 by 76 runs. Or 74 runs. Yeah, because I was not out 26 when we declared. I would have certainly got my 100. On that pitch, 100%.
Great. 3 legends together, 2 from Australia, 1 from India. I think that shapes the bowling that the world cricket has seen. What were your reaction, playing against, but also being in the same frame, same Hall of Fame with Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath?
No, it's a great feeling. Of course, we all miss Warnie. He was someone who was a very dear friend. We spoke a lot of cricket, spoke a lot about leg spin, and he was always there for any one of us. And yes, we sort of were competitors on the field as opponents, but we discussed batsmen, their weakness, and how do you bowl at certain batters. And these were all, conversations that both of us had and shared. So I miss all of that. Yeah, it's unfortunate that he's not here, but a great bowler. I mean, I could never be him in terms of what he was able to achieve. And, I learned a lot watching Shane Warne bowl. And of course, Glenn McGrath, he's a class on its own. And both together were lethal for any team. And both of them sort of won so many matches for Australia, and they were dominant in that era. Yes, there were a lot of great batters in the team. They were dominant because of these 2 bowlers, because they could consistently go there and hunt in pairs and then win matches for their country.
Fantastic.
And yes, we keep talking about the Haydens, the Langers, the Steve Waugh, the Ricky Pontings, Mark Waugh and
Yeah.
all the great players, Adam Gilchrist, but these two were really special.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, beating that team the way you all did is phenomenal. How many of you can guess all the players out there? Anybody?
Even I can't guess.
All the players. Anyone want to try? Azharuddin, somebody said, yeah. Venkatesh Prasad.
Now we'll give it to you. Each one is saying one name, so we'll
Any
give it
player
to you.
you cannot guess?
No, everyone's there. So.
Nikhil Chopra.
Yeah, he's there. Nikhil Chopra is also there. Yeah, correct. Yeah. No, you got it right.
You all got it right. You all got it right. Let's conclude to that. Yeah, this is the last series that you both played together. You already mentioned about that moment. This is the injury that actually held you
Yes,
back from
yes.
completing the series. But Virendra Sehwag says that after this series ended and two of you retired, it was the best party that had ever happened in the dressing room. Were they happy that both of you were going, or were they celebrating your brilliant career?
I think a bit of both. Yeah, they were certainly celebrating. More than anything else, we were celebrating. They never saw us the way we were that evening. I don't think they saw that side of us ever in the time that we were all together. So they were happy. And of course, it was a celebration because two of us, were sort of finishing our careers at the same time and with the team. Like I mentioned, the camaraderie and the vibe that you get being a part of a dressing room is very different. And that was the end of it. So when you know that that's the last day that you're going to get this vibe, then you celebrate and then you sort of share. And it's a very different feeling. So yes, we do.
11 of you were celebrating and a billion of us were crying that day, that's for sure. Who can guess who is taking Anil Kumble on his lap? Anybody? Who said Sehwag? You are from ET, you don't get that award. Anybody else? Somebody else said Sehwag. You said Sehwag, not Sachin? Both over heads. Yes, it's Virendra Sehwag, and this is the last test match that we talk about. These are the moments I'm sure, you have been through, but this is the moment that I wanted to ask you about. Throughout your career, your family been a great support, of course. You were touring. What role does family play in a leader becoming a leader or an achiever becoming an achiever?
No, massive role. I mean, even today, the support that I get from the family, I'm able to do what I can do because, all the three children sort of grew without the father being there constantly. The mother looked after them, and it's a very unique feeling, I'm sure, for all of us. The support that you get from your wife and the children, you're not able to, without their support, you won't be able to perform on the field. And everything else is handled by my wife and the kids now. I mean, they're too young in that, but both of them are my height now. So, so it's a different feeling when the family has sort of seen you through ups and downs, and the support that you get from them was massive. I'm sure all of us here certainly relate to the family, the mother, father supporting us, and then the wife, partner coming in and supporting, the children support. So today, whatever decision I take, any major decision, whether to become, even when I took over the administration, when I took over the coaching or a mentoring role, any role that I take which sort of keeps me away for a long period of time, then it's a family decision. It's not my own.
Fantastic. A round of applause for the family. It's a lot of sacrifice. I mean, 19 years just watching your partner on television probably and being around for a couple of months. Back on those days, they used to not travel with the family as much as they do now. Yes, two more questions I'll take and then we'll have to wrap the session.
Sir, with an apology, I must say I'm not a great cricket fan, but I'm a fan of your leadership. And recently, you launched a sporting startup, Spectacom, which is hosted on Azure, Microsoft. I want to ask you, and the role of telemetry and all the data in the world of sports, not just in F1, even in cricket, is so relevant. I want to ask you, during your leadership days, if you had access to all of the data and analytics and predictability, would you have done something differently in your leadership? That's number one question. And number two,
one. Please, only one question.
yeah.
Surely,
Sorry.
thank you so much for that. Surely, I wish I had all that available with me, but I was always an analytics guy.
Wow.
I'm an engineer, so I always looked at solving a problem in a very different way than being emotional about it. So cricket was all about solving problems. Bowling is all about solving problems, finding a solution, creating a doubt in the batsman's mind. And I was always, cricket is full of data.
Absolutely.
So utilization of that data to put together a strategy, what are the probability of you being successful, what percentage, is it high, is it low? So all of that can happen through data that is available to you. Unfortunately, while we were playing, there was not much data that was available. So for me, when I was playing, the speed gun was something that had come in the late 90s. Although I was a spinner, I utilized that speed gun data to understand my own bowling or of how it would enable me to perform on a particular pitch or a particular batsman. So I wish I had all these tools. Now there are a lot more. So now, I'm happy that I'm a part of the ecosystem, having a startup in sports tech, and we have built a solution where you'll get data in real time by putting a sticker on the bat, and you get it in real time, and it goes onto the cloud. And you get data.
So is it allowed to alter the course of a match? Is it possible and is it allowed?
Take it offline.
No, you can't. You can't alter the course. I don't think anybody can alter the course of a match by a data. I think everybody is aware of the data. Everybody knows Bumrah bowls at 145. Everybody knows that when he bowls a slower ball, he bowls at 118 or whatever, but still the batsmen find it difficult. So, that's the beauty about sport. Everybody knows the ball can only go 3 different ways. It can come straight, it can go out, it can come in, but still find it difficult to hit.
Now you have technology, to say how fast the bowler is.
Yeah,
Earlier days, you'll have to ask Nayan Mungia how fast Anil Kumble is. And trust me, he would give a good answer. Your last question, for somebody from the back. Yes. That gentleman, can we have the question from him? Yeah.
Hey, Anil, I think I'm a big fan after that.
Thank you.
Once you played it, after your job broken, you came back to batting, right? So that is when I became a big fan.
Thank you.
One question, I think, with this IPL, do you see a lot of players don't have that hunger to come into India team? Because in your days, it's only Ranji Trophy and other things where people used to feel proud to come into India team. That is where the visibility is. Now with IPL, there is a lot of money and a lot of fan following even without playing for India. Is it diluting the way people are thinking about playing for India?
No, I think, I don't think it's diluting the way people think about playing for India. I guess every person out there who's aspiring to play cricket will certainly want to be a part of the Indian team. Playing for the IPL or being a part of an IPL team or getting an opportunity in an IPL franchise certainly gets you to play under pressure, similar kind of a pressure that you would sort of face in an international match. So I don't see it as a dilution. I see it as an opportunity for these youngsters. Now it's not just the 15 players or 11 getting an opportunity to play under pressure and being superstars and being identified because they play for India. Now players who are a part of this IPL also are recognized. They also get paid well. They get an opportunity to play under tough conditions with really good quality international players playing in the league. But it's just a stepping stone. So you get recognized, you get seen. Yes, what happens in domestic cricket is mostly like when the lights are off. Nobody is watching. IPL is lights on, you perform, all your performances in the domestic cricket suddenly gets elevated. So I guess, players are looking at not just domestic cricket, they're also thinking that, okay, if I perform in domestic cricket, I will make it to the IPL team and then perform here, then I will get into the Indian team. So I don't think anybody is sort of looking at saying, I'm happy if I play only IPL.
Correct.
Every youngster would want to play for the country at some point.
Yeah, and it's still a dream to play Ranji Trophy for your stay. And if you take domestic cricket seriously, you come back as Riyan Parag, as he did. Can I have the last AV and then we wrap this session? Sorry, sir, I have no time for more questions. Sorry? The middle was for the last 2 days. I'll try, but can we have the fourth AV, please, the last one?
I have to pass on a very important message to him.
I thought it was for questions, sir, and not for messages. But yeah, you have hijacked my show. Go ahead.
You've already passed on a very important message to him.
Yeah.
That you have to take questions in the middle.
So, Anil sir, I'm a very big fan of yours. I was 11 years old when you started your career. And as I said, I have a very important message to pass you on from my wife, that she loves you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So probably I'm the, she is my classmate, and then she always tell me that you are the second love of mine, and then first love is you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So my question, let me say again this line because...
Oh, you have a question as well? Okay.
Yeah, I have a question as well. So let me, pass on this proof. My colleague is trying to help me. So let me again say that my wife has passed on one message, and then she loves you a lot, and then probably she loves you better than me or more than me.
From good attempt, sir. Good attempt to become the first love from tomorrow.
So my question is, sir,
Oh, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Is it yours or your wife's
because
question?
this guy will not allow me to,
No, that's okay, sir. You can wrap here. You have become the first love of your wife from tomorrow.
Thank you.
For doing what you just did.
Thank you for that. So, sir, the question is, we always used to say that, especially in Hindu spirituality, that, we always end up in having some highs and lows in our life, and then probably we have to be grounded when we have highs, and then maybe, when we are on lows, then we have to think for some highs in life. So, for you during your entire career, what do you probably define, or a moment which you feel that this is my lowest, and then how you again, converted it in the high, and then what kind of a message you will pass on to all of us, that what we should remember when, we are probably going through lows of our life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good question.
Thank you. I think it's all about self-belief at any given point in time. Cricket is such a sport that it's like life itself. One day you're on top, next day you have to start again. If you score 100, you start from 0. If you've taken 10 wickets, the next test match, I only got 1. So that's the beauty about sport. It teaches you, and you learn immediately. And one thing is for sure, whatever profession that you're in, you can't take it for granted.
Yeah.
The moment you take things for granted, then certainly it'll kick you up your backside. And cricket certainly does that. Whether you're a batsman, whether you're a bowler, or sometimes you think that you're at the top of the world and you drop a simple chance, which probably affects the game. So that is something that I've always believed, that you can't take anything for granted. Continue to persevere, and be honest in the preparation that you do, and things will fall in place. Somebody asked me here saying, would you have preferred to become captain much earlier? I mean, if you're destined, it will happen at some point. But if I sort of had that at the back of my mind, every time I went there saying, I want to be this, maybe I wouldn't have performed. I would have probably had to retire much earlier than when I retired eventually. So it's about just do your thing, be proactive, have the belief. When you're down, you need the support of your family, your close people who are with you. And that's why family plays a very important role. And I'm fortunate that, I have all these people who are very supportive. And, I guess like cricket, life is the same. One day you're on top, one day doesn't work out. But over a long period of time, if you've had more ups than low and downs, then I think it's been a good thing for all of us.
Great, great. Thank you. No more questions. I have just one video that I want to show, and that to me, is still the most inspiring thing that I have seen in my life. Please play the last video, the fourth AV. Volume.
He took his eyes off the ball. I just wonder if it's hit him on that little protective thing just under the helmet, the one that covers the ears. Never a pretty sight.
Volume.
Took his eyes off the ball, but luckily there doesn't seem any sign of any injury there. That's a good sign. But he'll be winded a little bit. Yes, I actually think it's hit him below the helmet. It's not in the covered part. It's hit him below the helmet.
That's a good spot, as you can see here now. And in that particular area, there isn't much protection. And I think that is where I think maybe if it hit him a little bit higher, it would have been okay. But I think maybe with the position his head was in at the time, that it gave the ball some chance to just creep in that little space where I think there wasn't much protection.
Well, isn't that interesting? This is quite unbelievable. We were told that Anil Kumble is going to be on the next flight home.
For some reason, the commentary is not up. So here, Harsha Bogle is saying this is something happening out of the blue. I mean, he had to go and get an operation done and get 2 plates inserted in his jaw. That was the report that was coming from the dressing room to the commentary box. And suddenly he comes out to bowl, and you see what happens next. He's bowling to the greatest batsman to have batted in a test match or in a test career, Brian Lara.
He's a fighter. You can see the swelling on his face. It's as if he's got a double chin. That's a big shout. Is he out? Yes, he's out. Right in front of the stumps.
Broken jaw, but never give up. That's Anil Kumble for you. Thank you very much. Please give him a standing ovation. He deserves all of it.
Thank you so very much, everybody.
Thank you.
I'm going to quickly request 3 gentlemen to please join me on stage right now.
Just 1 second, Miten more. Yeah, who are the 3 questions that you want to give your sign ball to? So. Yeah, I have the marker. Three questions. The lady? The one who asked you about the engineering stuff. Okay, there she is. We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you. The other 2.
The other 2, you'll have to give it to the wife.
Thank you. You got the second question. The second love. Yeah, please come up.
You're very generous. Thank you, sir.
Then I can choose one. Yeah, I would then choose the. Sorry. Yeah, come up.
Thank you so very much, everybody.
Pat, come
Thank
and
you.
give another word. Here, your moment.
I request everyone to please be seated. Everybody please be seated. I quickly want to introduce a jersey launch right now. And for that, I'm going to request Vipin Kumar, CIO, UFlex. Folks, I request you all to please be seated, everybody. Please be seated, everybody. Okay, that's a lot of English. All right, one last time I'll try this. Please be seated. 1 minute, sir, Anilji. I'm going to request Vipin Kumar, CIO, UFlex, Vivek Sharma, CIO, Pidilite, and of course, Deepro Ganguly from Tick Jockey Alone to please join me on stage right now for the launch and revealing of the jersey. Yes, thank you so much. We'll reveal the jersey now. Followed by which I also request Omar to please join me on stage right now, Omar. Okay, hold on. I request you to please be seated. He wants an angle shot, so. Okay, let's take a quick. Done. All right, can we have a loudest round of applause, please? Omar, can we have a mic for Omar, please? Mike. Give me mic. Omar, while you explain this entire thing for tomorrow's match, I'm going to quickly get a photo. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so very much.